Previously on SailingTerrapin, we untied the dock lines and headed north up the Irish Sea. As we passed the Mull of Kintyre, we had a gorgeous downwind sail to Islay, Scotland. Islay is a small island off the coast of Scotland in what's known as the Hebrides. It's been settled since the Mesolithic period of hunter-gatherers. They even found an arrowhead on Islay that's been carbon dated back to 10,000 BC. Even though it's only 40 miles long, this island is home to 5 distilleries, known for their smoky medicinal flavors. 3 of these distilleries were within walking distance of our marina. So we set out on foot through sheep pastures and woods with peat moss everywhere until the first distillery was in sight.
Do I know what's true, true for you? But at least I think there are some nuggets found along the way. That, for instance, you must learn to wait for night to turn into day, night to turn into day. But if your aim is straight, and if you're willing to wait, you're gonna get there. Wait and see.
When we arrived at Laphroaig Distillery, we wanted to know everything about the whiskey making process. So we booked a tour. It was exceptional in the fact that we were able to go everywhere in the factory, including the malt floor, the kiln room, the fermenting floor, and the distilling room. The warehouse was the only off-access area of Laphroaig. We learned quite a bit, including the fact that the Laphroaig process has not been automated and they use some of the same mechanical techniques that have been used since the 1800s. Also, Laphroaig is the only distillery with the Royal Warrant designation, meaning it is Prince Charles' favorite whiskey, and they are the only suppliers to the royal family. The distillery promotes this quite a bit, and you can tell because there are pictures of His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales just about everywhere. Our next stop on our walk was Lagavulin Distillery. This time we decided to do a warehouse tasting tour since we already had a pretty good understanding of the distilling process. We didn't realize we would be in for a treat and able to meet the Lagavulin legend Ian MacArthur. For those of you who are fans of Parks and Recreation, here is what Ron Swanson had to say about this place, with a special cameo by Ian MacArthur himself.
All my life, I have avoided Europe and its multitudes of terribleness. But it turns out, much to my surprise, there is actually one place in Europe that is worth seeing. These tiny islands off the coast of Scotland, where God's chosen elixirs are distilled, barreled, and prepared for consumption. This is worth the trip.
With bags of whiskey in hand, we continued walking the next mile to Ardbeg Distillery. By this point, we had our fill of tastings and tours, so instead we enjoyed a nice lunch at the cafe and then headed 3 miles back to Port Ellen. While we were in Islay, a special doggie celebrated her 8th birthday. What was her request for the day? Beaches, please. I think this beach turned out to be one of her favorites of all time.
Imagine a perfect day, absolutely flawless in every way. That's the day I'm having right now. I pinch my arm to believe I thought I had searched both without and within. I was looking to get wet, standing in the rain. Then you offered your umbrella and everything changed. Wait up, sundown, wait a while.
The time came to put the ball away and head back to Terrapin. We would be leaving the next day to sail to Gia, and we were so grateful to have sailed to Scotland and excited to continue exploring.
Wait up, sundown, wait a while. Please make this moment last. Wait up, sundown, wait a while. No reason to be fast.
So we left Port Ellen about an hour ago, and we're heading over to Gia, and we have Lagavulin, Laphroaig, and Ardbeg. What I was trying to say is, as we sailed from Port Ellen to Gia, we sailed right by Laphroaig, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg. All three distilleries sit right there on the bay.
So this morning we left Port Ellen. We're sailing across the Sound of Jura, just about 25 miles, to Artemis Bay. Right now we're doing about 7 knots and 13 knots of wind, close hauled. We're about to go around Kara Island, and then we'll furl in and motor the last mile right into our anchorage in Artemis Bay.
Next week on Sailing Terrapin, we pick up a mooring and walk around the Isle of Gia, and then we spend some time on Galanack and Cruise.